All right, well, thank you so much again for being with us. It's always good to see students on an info session. Plus, all the questions that you ask are always important to us. Getting a master's degree is a significant investment of time and resources, and you want to make sure that your questions are answered. You feel comfortable in terms of taking that giant step. This is going to be a life-changing thing. Wherever you come from, whatever your background is, it not only affects your family, but you, your family, extended friends, everybody, and it's positive impact that we see. But again, when you're getting started with this, there are a lot of questions, and we are here to answer those questions. So the agenda for today's webinar is very simple. For the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll be talking about the program, and then we'll just jump into your questions. A significant portion of this webinar is reserved for your questions. So the best way to get to those questions is just type them in the chat. We'll make sure every question is covered by the end of this webinar. So before we get started on why business analytics at UT Dallas, I think it's important for us to know why business analytics at all. There's so many degree programs out there. What is so special about analytics that we need to have a degree program around that? The first analytics program that really came out wasn't too long ago. It was maybe about 17 years ago. 2007 was when we saw the first program. And then in the next 5 to 7 years, we started seeing a lot of universities, prominent ones, that started offering an analytics program. And that's when even UT Dallas offered our program, which is now 10 years old. But the fundamental question is, why an analytics program? And the reason is very simple. And probably we'll have to go a little back into the 70s. One of the greatest things that happened in the 70s was the advent of computers into our homes, into small and medium enterprises. People pivoted and they've started using computers for their business operations. And that was a defining moment, because the minute you have more adaptability, that's when you start changing the generation of people around it. And people did change with computers. I mean, right now we are looking at computers at a very advanced stage, to be very honest. What feels normal to us wasn't that normal in the 70s. And the question was, okay, what are the applications? How are we storing the data? Every application that is ever written is written to manage data. So the question was always about data and that layer. And when these applications were getting created, the databases were getting created, the 70s and 80s was mostly about use cases as to how they can be used. See, we are still generating data. As we are thinking of better ways to use our computers, we are constantly generating data. And after 2 or 3 decades, when companies were sitting on heaps and heaps of data, unused but historical data, the question was, what do we do with it? And that's where some of the leaders came out and they said, okay, you know what, we can definitely drop in some techniques into this data, into these heaps, and figure out patterns, figure out if there are any cyclical patterns that we need to be aware of. Are there any hits or misses? What works, what doesn't work? We have facts to tell us, to guide us, to give us insights. And when you have those facts, decision-making becomes easier. It's no longer about your hunch, but rather it's a very data-focused decision. And that's what slowly and slowly companies started gravitating towards. Now, when the need for data and analytics increased, the question was, well, how do we train our employees to do this well? Different type of training techniques were adopted, but the speed at which the need was growing was way more than the speed at which that need was being satiated. And that's where the industry turned to its biggest friend, academia. And there was a question about, okay, can we have programs that can build this into their curriculum so that people who are getting out of these degree programs have those skills? So as I said, 17 years since the first program came out, an analytics program. And at UT Dallas, we have been doing this for 10 years now. So you think of any sector, even the sectors which you do not really immediately associate with computers, financial, tech, real estate, oil and natural gas, healthcare, everywhere analytics is in need. The good thing for you and not so good thing for the industry is there's a dearth of qualified professionals. People don't know what analytics really is. but companies do need that skill. And that's where a degree program like ours comes handy. As far as the MSBA program at UTD is concerned, there's a lot of flexibility. You can take classes at different times of the day. You can choose your professors. There are lots and lots of electives. In terms of our size, when it comes to the catalog, the number of courses that we offer, we have the largest catalog. Just to give an example, and we'll see that in a moment, you have to take 6 electives. That's half the program. 6 electives, you have more than 80 choices to pick from. And that makes a lot of difference, because you can curate the degree the way you want to. There's a lot of engagement that is happening inside and outside of the class. Students are doing their projects, working on groups, group assignments, etc. But they are also, competing in competitions. They are participating in student org events. They are meeting employers. There's a lot of stuff that's happening outside of the classroom that is beneficial, that is required, and that is part of, what we call as a holistic experience for a student. And then finally, we're very, very focused on outcomes, because we want to make sure everything that is happening is giving you the benefit that you wanted to seek from the program. So whether we do an event, or whether we have exit survey data, or we look at how students are feeling about different aspects of their student life, we take that information, we take that input, we analyze it, and we try to put out remedial actions to make sure that your experience is at the top. As I mentioned, we have 6 electives. It's a 36 credit program. So most of your classes are for 3 credits. So technically you're going to take 12 courses. 6 of them are core, 6 of them are electives. And for the electives, there are 10 tracks right now. We have the 11th one in product and innovation analytics that just got approved. Will be put out for the fall 24 catalog. But accounting, cybersecurity, data engineering, data science, decision on operation, which is mostly around the supply chains, financial analytics, healthcare, marketing, social media, and enterprise systems. And enterprise systems is fully based on SAP. We are the oldest and one of the strongest partners of the SAP University Alliance, so we make sure that the latest and the greatest from that world is available to our students. It's a STEM designated program and has a lot of benefits because of that designation. Number one, employers get STEM talent. A lot of times they're looking for STEM talent, high-end, high-quality STEM talent, and we provide that. Secondly, there are students who might be international students who are looking for an extended ability to work on their student visa through the extra 2 years that they get on the OPT, optional practical training program. So the STEM designation helps with that too. Why the UTD MSBA? As I mentioned, we have the largest catalog, but we are also the largest in the country. Got close to 1,600 graduate students in the program, another 300-ish in the undergrad program. The starting salaries are around $100,000. We have partnerships with dozens of companies. And when I say partnership, it's not just another hi and hello that we do. They're working with us in our classes. They are speaking in our classes. They're judges in our competitions. They are mentoring our students. And then when the recruiting needs arise, they are recruiting from our programs. High return on investment. In the state of Texas, UT Dallas is ranked number 1. And within UT Dallas, we are right at the top when it comes to the return on investment. Just to give an example, let's say you take a loan to study, and generally the companies will give you anywhere between 7 to 20 years to pay back. Our students are paying back in like 2-3 years. And that's because they're making that kind of money that enables them to, number one, live comfortably, support their families, and at the same time pay off their loans at a very speedy pace. Lots of internships were pursued in the school, in the program last year, about 600 of them. That's the number we see. We fluctuate between 600 to 750 of them. We might end up seeing more internships this year. It's a great market right now, getting better with the day. And the average pay is about $30 an hour, which equates to about $60,000 a year, and which is in line with what our students are making as a full-timer. Generally, the ratio between the pay of an intern versus a full-timer is 1:2. So you earn $1 as an intern, you earn 2 as a full-timer. And we see that this is congruent to that theory. There are multiple flavors of this program. So we have the Flex program, which has the 10 tracks, all of the tracks that's available. That is the larger program, a larger flavor of the program. Most of the classes, about 80% of them are face-to-face, and then 20% classes are online as well if you need that option. Self-paced, so you can finish the degree in 1 year. The max you get is 6 years. Most of our students take 1.5 to 2 years. And then it's state funded, which means the more credits you take in a semester, the per credit hour rate goes down. Now we do have two other sections, or I would say flavors of the program, called cohort and online. They have 2 of the tracks out of the 10 that they focus on. Again, for the cohort program, most of the classes are face-to-face with a few online options, and it is also self-paced. You can take courses the way you want to take it. You decide your speed. The online program, on the other hand, is 100% online. There are GRE and GMAT is a requirement for the program, but waivers are available. So we don't give a blanket waiver, but on a case-to-case basis. So you submit your application, you don't put a score in, we will automatically consider you for a GRE waiver or a GMAT waiver. And then there are scholarships available for both the programs, all the programs, in fact. Going back to the application requirements, as I mentioned, GRE, GMAT is needed, but waivers are available. Don't have to email anybody, just submit the application, and if we don't see a score, we'll consider you for a waiver. Our committee generally reaches out to the student in about 10 days, telling them whether the waiver was accepted or do you need to write the GRE or GMAT. We need your transcripts. Scanned copies will be okay for the decision purposes, but once you're admitted, we will need official copies from your university. Your resume, letter of recommendation, and then your personal objective statement, essay. Talk about in 1 page, double-spaced, why this program and how does this factor into your future. We don't have any application fee waiver. There are some US organizations that if you were part of them, you might get the application fee waiver. If you are an international student, mostly you won't qualify for that. And this is only for after the first time. If you apply for other programs at UTD, while you're a student here, you will never end up being charged an application fee. It's just because we are a state university, we cannot offer an application fee waiver for the first one. The fall 24 scholarship application is May 1st. And then if you're looking for spring 25, that's December 1st. We will need, there are multiple types of scholarships. There's the Dean's Excellence Scholarship that's offered in the Flex program, for which we will need your GRE or GMAT score. But then there is a Program Excellence Scholarship where everybody, even those who have received a waiver, are considered. Of course, the proportion of the Dean's Excellence is more, but there are scholarships that you can go for. TA-ships are not available in the very first semester because we want students to complete at least 1 semester before they come to UT Dallas. Some stats around the last semester where we had students pursuing an internship. Well, summer just closed, so we'll be updating our summer numbers soon, but the last full semester was fall, and you can see all the different companies that they work for. Copart, Lennox International, Hotel Key. I mean, if you go to hotels, that's one big provider of security systems there. Frontier Airlines. A lot of airlines are headquartered in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and that's where our students end up working. But if you look at the different titles, definitely data analyst intern was one of the most common ones, followed by business analyst intern or data engineering. But there are other titles as well that students end up working on. Some stats, hard stats, we had about 216 internships and 172 companies in which our students worked. So which is a pretty good number there. 84% of them had a full-time internship, which means that they were at least working for 21 hours a week. The average salary was about $23, but the highest went to almost $78. All our students are required to post their experiences in the program, their internship experiences, etc., on LinkedIn. These are unmoderated experiences, so feel free to read through them. All you have to do is just look for hashtag UTD MSBA, and you will get all these different stories, thousands of them, where people have been pursuing internships, participating in competitions and whatnot. UT Dallas has more than 450 student organizations, and out of that, about 70 of them are in the business school. But the ones that you see on the screen are the ones where students are mostly very active from the program. SAP Users Group, Salesforce, Project Management Club, Women in Technology, Toastmasters, Cybersecurity, Marketing Analytics, Envision, which is a data visualization club, Accounting Analytics Club, you name it, it's there. Some benefits apart from all that we discussed was we also have certificate programs. And as a degree seeking student, if you end up signing up for one of the certificate programs, you can get these as well. Now, if somebody comes to UT Dallas just for the certificate programs, depending on their residency, this will cost them like $15,000 to $20,000. But as a degree seeking student, if these certificates have courses that are part of your degree program, you simply have to just take those courses and you end up getting that certificate as well, provided the courses that you took for the certificate, you end up with an average B in those. A lot of our students end up getting at least one certificate, and that adds on top of their master's degree that they get. This is a state university issued diploma, so it has a lot of value. And these are some of the certificates that the department offers. We have way more than this that you can pursue as a student. So again, you get double benefit of taking those classes because you don't have to pay the tuition twice and you get benefit towards multiple programs. Finally, our email is right here. You want to contact us for any questions. We are very happy to answer them, but at the moment, what I'll do is I'll switch on to our chat and see what kind of questions are there waiting for us. Sivi, would you like to go ahead?
Sure. I would like to register for details regarding MSBA Flex graduate orientation date if it's available.
Yes, so we will be sending that out to you very soon if you have not already done that. This is going to come from the dean's office in the school. The graduate orientation and the program orientation that follows that is on August 15th. That's the Thursday before start of classes.
But you don't actually, do they register for it? I think they indicate if they're coming. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they do have.
But if you don't register, you can still come.
Yes.
It's not don't worry about that. Is the program 12 credits per semester term?
Not really. The minimum that you need, if you're an international student, you need to take at least 9 credits. If you are a domestic student, just one course is enough. There's no lower bound like that you must take 12 credits. 9 for international, 1 course for domestic. The highest the max that you can take in a semester is 18 credits.
I have changed my application from MS Business Analytics dual degree to MS Business Analytics cohort, but I haven't received any confirmation mail regarding the same.
Kanishka, you will have to reach out to MSBA cohort at utdallas.edu to ask for any update on your application.
I am still waiting for my scholarship decision, but have applied and received my I-20. Does it affect my chances for getting the scholarship?
Not really. They're 2 separate things. If you get an I-20 and later you get a scholarship, you'll just receive an updated I-20 that you'll have to request.
I have applied for my I-20, but getting finance from a sponsor. Can I show another source of finance during the visa interview and to fund my education at UTD if that was not mentioned at the time of I-20?
So that's a good thing. Again, the visa officer might ask you questions about it, that what changed. But to be honest, if your source of funds has changed for whatever reason, you need to have a strong reason as to why that source changed. Because think about it this way, it's not just about showing that you have money. Somebody can ask you that, are these some arbitrary sources from which you're showing money and you don't actually have the money? So if your sources are changing, you need to have a strong reason as to why that source changed. Maybe they'll not ask, nobody will ever ask you, but you should always be ready that in the event it is asked, you should have a solid reason why your source changed. And that happens, sometimes, for example, I'll give an example about, let's say you have a piece of land, okay, some property, And when you were looking for an I-20 at that point of time, you were in the process of maybe selling that piece of land to get the money. Because it was the sale was not completed, you didn't have those funds to show. So you had another sponsor that stepped in and decided to be your sponsor. And then a few weeks later, that piece of land was sold, you got the money. And what you did was you asked your sponsor, that you thanked them, you don't need them anymore because you now have the solid funds. So your source of your funds have changed, but there is a very valid reason why that changed. Not that you were just arbitrarily showing a sponsor, but you didn't need that sponsor anymore because at this time you now have new funds available that you can use at your discretion. So this kind of explanation you should be ready with, that why you change between sponsors. And maybe nobody will ask, but prepare for the worst, hope for the best. All right, next question.
Okay, I would like to know about the overall cost of living on campus per semester. Should I wait till first semester to apply for TA?
I'll start with the second question. First of all, yes, start. Once you're in the first semester, give it a few weeks, and then the TA application would be open for the second semester. Apply while you're in the first semester. The on-campus option, there are multiple options. Students live on campus. They also live off campus. So there are a lot of communities available within 10, 15 minutes of the campus. There is a bus service that connects those off-campus communities. Wherever you end up living, I would say that your living expenses can be about $1,000 to $1,200 per month. Again, it's a lifestyle expense. If your needs are different, it will cost more, but on an average, we have seen that's the number.
I received the Dean's Excellence Scholarship. In the financial affidavit for I-20, there's a section that asks to, quote, submit a copy of your official award letter. I did not receive any letter for the scholarship except the email confirmation. Should I attach a print of the email?
Yeah, just save your email as a PDF and attach that. And by the way, the school does send, after we award you the letter, the scholarship, in about a week's time, the school will send all the recipients over to ISSO, the letters. So ISSO has a copy of that letter as well. But you can just, save the email as a PDF and upload it.
To whom should a student reach out for course registration? I'm going to paste the link that JSOM has with the enrollment video as well as the MSBA video below.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You can do it yourself. You don't have to wait for anybody else. Just make sure your holds are removed. If the holds are there, check out what the hold says. What is the start date of the hold as well? Because if the hold is in the future, then it doesn't affect you today. And then there is always an email address mentioned. So reach out to them if you have questions about the hold.
How can I contact my academic advisor?
jsomgradvising@utdallas.edu. That's one single email address you need to send your request to.
Are most of the classes in the evening?
We have a lot of classes that we offer in the evening for a variety of reasons. Students who are working, or just the preference of our students to have evening classes. I would say we start, so the first set of classes are offered from as early as 8 a.m. that we do. We have seen that over the period of time, the popularity of classes that start at 1 p.m., 4 p.m., and 7 p.m., and these are all 2 hours, 45-minute long classes, has grown. And the 4 to 6:45 and 7 to 9:45 slots have also become very popular. But we have classes all over the day. So you will see day sections as well if you're looking for those.
When is the last date for course registration? I put in the link to the academic calendar website. I have applied for scholarship and still status is pending. When will I get my decision and got my I-20?
Okay, so Mayuri, the committee looks at all the scholarship apps on a rolling basis. It would be every few weeks, and they would be, they do not deny you a scholarship if they don't see that you are, whether you qualify or not. They'll put your name back in the pool, because with every round that we come back, the award criteria is lowered a little bit. And if you make the cut, they will let you know. But this goes all the way until about mid of May. And if you are not awarded a scholarship at that point of time, they'll let you know that they don't have a scholarship.
How can I connect to students from India who have opted for UTD for fall 2024 MSBA?
There's a couple ways that you can do that. Number one, we have the Telegram group, and I'm going to put that link in the chat right now for all of you. Just join the group. That is everybody. But if you're looking for specifically India, we have the Indian Students Association. There are different ethnic organizations for different countries, students from different countries, and generally they start with them. So I'm just putting the link to the Telegram group here. You can join that. But yeah, if you send me an email, I can connect you to the Indian Students Association, and then they can help you connect with the rest.
What would be the approximate fee for MSBA Flex program?
Depends on residency and the number of credits you're taking. We'll also put the link to the video around financial planning, because that helps you understand the different personas of students that come to the program. But I would say from a tuition perspective, it can swing between $40,000 to $65,000, depending on the number of credits you take, scholarship, TA-ships, all that kind of stuff. And then living expenses would be another, if you're talking about 4 semesters, at about 1,000 a month, you're looking at about another 25,000 there. That's a swell number, but 25,000 for living expenses for the entire duration of the program. That's almost 2 years. And then another $5,000 will go towards your health insurance for the entire duration of the program. The health insurance is about $1,450 per semester for the fall and spring, and about $550 for the summer semester. But please do watch the webinar. We'll put that link in the chat so that you can see the difference. Okay, thank you.
Just wanted to clarify, the UT Dallas admission site says that GMAT GRE is optional. Is this required for your program?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, that we do offer waivers. It's not a blanket waiver, but on a case-to-case basis. So you can submit your application without the scores, and we will review it for a GMAT GRE waiver. If you're able to give you a waiver, you will know that. If you're not, then you'll just have to submit a score.
I'm not sure what
Yes.
Mitesh is talking about. Okay, can we still apply for scholarship once we get admitted?
Yeah, that's how you do it. Once you're admitted, you can apply for a scholarship. The Dean's Excellence Scholarship is open up to until May 1st. Your scholarship application should be with us, and your official GRE or GMAT scores for that Dean's Excellence Scholarship should be with us.
If it is 9 credits, how will I be able to cover 36 credits in 3 semesters?
So 9 credits is the minimum that you need if you're an international student. Okay, if you need to do it in 3 semesters, then definitely you have to take more than 9 credits a semester. This program can be done in 1 year. If you think about this, between, let's say you start in fall and then spring and maybe summer, you're done. You can take 18 credits and you can graduate from the program.
Where can we get the exact information of the actual tuition fees for MSBA Flex program?
So if you just want the tuition fee, for that there is a link for tuition estimates, and I'm going to just paste. You got that? Okay, so that's in the chat. Look at that link, and that'll give you the exact number. All you have to do is put in your residency, the number of credits, the school you're going to, and it'll give you an information about that, and that's just tuition.
I have paid my app fees, and also my official transcripts have been sent to UT Dallas. What is the next steps for admission process? Well,
once we have all your documents that we require, the minimum documents, we will take about 2 to 3 weeks to turn a decision around. So just wait for us.
Is there any off-campus accommodation group for fall 24 students?
Hey, there are too many groups that go around. We don't keep a track of what those groups are, but if you go to some of the Facebook groups, like UTD students accommodation, something of that sort, just type UTD students housing, and you'll get a lot of different groups that people are active on. That's one way of doing it. Depending on which country people are from, there are different groups, like we have the Chinese Student Association, Indian Students Association, Pakistani Students Association, Sri Lankan students, Ghana students, Kenyan students. So those are another ways. You can also reach out to the International Center if you're looking for specific people. But as I said, the Telegram group that we have has everybody who's part of MSB, and maybe from there you can pretty much figure out a few folks that you may want to connect with.
Does this program require students to write a thesis in order to graduate?
No.
Do we need to complete the TB test before attending the international orientation and graduate orientation?
Not really. You need the TB test and the test to be completed and the hold to be taken up before you enter your classrooms. It is by state law that you cannot enter your classrooms unless that hold is removed. You could have a test result which says you're clear, but if the hold is still there, you're required to not enter. So make sure your holds are removed around TB test before you enter your classrooms. Orientations are fine.
If my admission is deferred due to visa issues, do I need to drop all the classes that I have registered for?
You need to do that before the first day of classes. If you cannot join us in the semester of admission that you have, then before the first day of classes, all your courses need to be dropped, because if they're not dropped, you will incur financial liability. You will be liable to pay some portion of the fees there. So please drop them. And then you can defer your admission before the census day of that semester, which generally is about 10 days, a week or 10 days after the start of classes.
Is there any preference for the students studying in the cohort program while the selection of subjects, since they have a predefined curriculum? If yes, then what should a flex student do to register for their desired subject with their preferred professors?
Say again, because of the size of the program, the flex program, and the number of courses that are offered, we are able to offer more electives. We are able to offer more sections for those just because of the demand. So for a student in the flex program, they will have more flexibility as compared to a cohort student in terms of what professors they can select, what courses they can take. So I think you kind of answered your own question there, but you will have access to all.
The cohort sections and the flex sections are different. So those students aren't registering for the same classes, and registration opens for everyone at the same time. People have different enrollment appointments, but flex students are enrolling in flex sections and cohort students are enrolling in cohort sections.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is housing available on campus for graduate students too, or is it only for the undergrads?
Oh, it's available for everybody. Again, it's first come, first serve. So whoever gets there first.
What social and emotional supports are available for incoming students?
Very good question. Some of the things that we do is, especially when you come to campus, the first few weeks are filled with events. You just get to know so many different parts of the campus just through those events. There are a lot of welcome events that are done by the school, the university, and there are a lot of third parties that support operations of the campus. For example, there's a group which is built by, it's a religious organization and a group of them that do something called the Big Howdy. And it's like a carnival that they do to welcome students in. But then we have a counseling center. We do have offices that take care of students who might need one-on-one counseling. We make sure that even if you are coming from another part of the world, a lot of times different festivals that are around the world are celebrated on campus, just to make sure that you feel that, well, you might not be at home, but there is something out there. But as far as even with domestic students, one of the things is just ensuring that everything is not just about their academics, and there are things around non-academic elements as well that's happening. I mean, in fact, a lot of our student organizations do a great job in terms of putting together events that are focused towards the emotional needs of our students. I mean, just to give an example, during exam time, they have like late night breakfast, for example. The student dining will open up and there's late night breakfast for students, and hundreds of students attend that. Why? Because they're on campus studying. They bring in pets. There's a petting day where you can just pet dogs and other pets to relieve stress. There are stress buster events that are happening all the time on campus. So there is definitely, again, it depends on how engaged you want to be. but you will always find something happening on campus that helps you break out of your norm, relax, feel better, and then go back to what you were doing. But definitely there is a very active and fully staffed counseling center as well, where if you need a one-on-one counseling, you can simply call them or get on a chat with them or even visit them in person and get that counseling. So I'm glad that you asked that question. There's a lot of resources available on campus for what you just asked.
I have applied for MS Marketing, but haven't paid the application fee yet. I now want to change my program to analytics. What should I do now?
Submit a application fee for analytics. You don't need to submit the documents again because we can use what documents are there. And once you send in the MSBA Flex app, pay for it, and then just send an email to admission, it's single word, admission@utdallas.edu, telling them to withdraw your marketing application.
Do the dual degree students need to register separately for both courses, or can we mix subjects from both courses in the same semester?
Oh, you can mix them. Absolutely. There is no differentiation in terms of how you go on both the tracks because it doesn't make sense. And we do allow students to mix and match. The simple reason is because we are also sharing credits. So you might be taking a course that might give you credit towards both the programs that you are in.
How many credits can I transfer from another college?
So at the same level, at a master's level program, you can transfer up to 9 credits of another master's degree that you have done. What we'll have to do is we'll have to assess, are those credits related to this program? For example, if you had a course in pottery, okay, pottery 101, that has nothing to do with analytics. We might not be able to give you credit. But if there's something else that has analytics elements in it, we can always look into that and try to give you credit towards that course. So 9 credits is what the limit is.
The MS Marketing application is $100 with at least 1 recommendation letter. Based on your presentation, you made 3 recommendations. Specifically, would there be an application fee waiver for international students like myself for the analytics program?
So the second part of the question I'll answer first. Number one, you don't need, you cannot get the application fee waiver. As an international student, you'll have to pay. So the $100 is actually $50 for the application fee, and then $50 is for the foreign credentials evaluation. So if you have got an undergrad degree outside of the US, that's the evaluation fee. 1 recommendation letter should be okay. Typically 3 is required when we don't have any work experience, and so that's where we require more. But if you have some work experience, 1 is enough.
Where can I get the syllabus for the courses? So I put the link to Coursebook in the chat, and that is where you can see the syllabi for each class for past semesters. The upcoming semester syllabi won't be posted till the day the semester begins or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Is there a way we can obtain the document which states that we have accepted the admission to UTD?
Well, when you accept the admission, I mean, the offer of the admission is there, but what you can do is you can go to your student center, Orion Student Center, and when you accept the application, it changes the status there. You can take a screenshot of that, but if you need this for a specific purpose, like if a certain entity is asking you whether you have accepted the admit or not, and you're not able to get that, just send me an email, I'll write a letter to you. I can't write a letter to another person, but I can send you a letter which states that you have accepted the admission or not.
Does the online program offer all the courses the in-person or flex program have?
So first of all, the modality of the online program is completely online. Secondly, there are 2 tracks, data engineering and data science, that are prevalent in that particular in the online program. So again, whatever sections are being offered in the flex for those 2 tracks, the same courses are offered in the online program as well, but they're 100% online.
What is the employment rates of your past batches? What are the most common roles that students get for MSBA? Is there any stats which is available for us regarding placement records?
Absolutely, and we have detailed information about what are the different types of, for a company, what role somebody went into. So over the last whatever years I can think of. In the first 3 months after graduation, the rate has been about 92%, 90 to 92%. And in the 6 months, it's been 100%. So anybody seeking a job in this area definitely gets one. I would say a good number of our students, and that stands at about 40 to 50%, get an offer before they graduate. But we have, if you go to our website, the MSBA website, and we'll put the link in the chat, you can just simply look at career outcomes. There are two tabs. One is for internships and one is for career outcomes, and you can get that information, that detailed information that you're looking for.
When will the classes commence on? So I put the link to the academic calendar website. That is what you will want, but it depends which semester you're referring to.
Yeah.
Summer starts May 28th.
Yeah, fall is August 19th. Fall 24th.
I'm already selected for UTD, and now I want to know the further process for admission fees, I-20, and much more.
So there is a particular checklist that we have here, and I'm going to put that link in the chat. That checklist helps you with everything that you need to do as a new student at UTD. That kind of keeps you on track. It includes every possible stuff that you would need, and it's in the chat right now. And will give you detailed instructions as well as to what you need in terms of.
I have got. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, in terms of what you need to do. Okay.
I have got the Dean's Excellence Scholarship, and there were 2 points mentioned regarding the scholarship. The first point mentioned is that it is a $1,000 tuition credit. The second point mentioned is that it reduces the in-state tuition fees if you are an international student. I was just having a doubt if both the points were applicable or what it is.
So what happens is, yes, you get the $1,000 that's added as tuition credit to your account, but on top of it, your residency changes for tuition purposes. And the difference between the in-state and out-of-state tuition is about 2 times. So technically that means that when you get in-state tuition waiver for 2 semesters, as the letter says, for 2 semesters, you'll be able to pay the in-state rates, which gives you like a 50% discount on your tuition. And both of them, the 1,000 credits plus the 50% discount, will be effective together.
I received the scholarship saying 50% tuition waiver for 2 semesters. Is the waiver restricted to a certain number of credit hours?
You are required to, I think the letter says 5 or 6 credits that you need to enroll in. You need to be a full-time student, technically. And for those 2 semesters, whatever credits you take, it's up to 18. 18 is the max that you can take. This waiver will apply.
Can you please share the Telegram group for Pakistan students?
We don't have any Telegram group for Pakistan students. We have one Telegram group official that is only for the program, irrespective of the nationality. It's open to everybody. But if you send me an email, Shaz, I can connect you to the Pakistani Students Association that will, or somebody of some of our students who have come from Pakistan to just tell you about what are the resources specifically for Pakistani students.
My application status is in graduate committee review from past 4 days. How long does it take to get the decision?
So if it's in graduate committee review, you can expect a decision in the next week or so. Yeah, that's pretty much towards the end of the process. And once the graduate committee reviews it, I've seen them turn the decision around in anywhere between 3 to 7 days.
Does UTD allow day 1 CPT?
It doesn't. To be honest, day 1 CPT is not a concept that UTD really associates with, just because it's very counterintuitive to the whole concept of CPT, but we don't offer that. For us to offer CPT, you have to complete at least 2 long semesters.
Shaz, scroll up and the link for the Telegram is there. If I'm taking a loan and then is loan sanction letter enough for showing proof of funds for I-20?
It can definitely count, yes. And I'm not sure how much, what is the size of the loan that you're getting, but if that covers what the I-20 is asking for, then yeah, by all means.
That's everything.
Oh, excellent. We have been very efficient with this. Again, you can have more questions. You know, our email addresses, the best one is msbuan@utd.edu. utdallas.edu. Have your questions sent to us there, and we'll be very happy to take them. But I'm sure I'll see a few requests on Telegram asking to join, and which we'll approve, and you can ask your questions there as well. It's a pretty solid group. We have a couple thousand students easily there. A lot of them who started as prospective students are now current students in that group. So good. What is the initial deposit to save my seat? There's no initial deposit. We don't need that. Okay, well, thank you so much. There's any other further questions, just feel free to email that to us and we'll be happy to respond to your questions. Oh, there's a question again. One moment, I'm hearing some kind of feedback here. Okay, one last question there. Can we have on-campus jobs? Oh yeah, absolutely. So we use a portal called Handshake, and this is where your accounts will be created by UTD. So once you get closer to the start of the semester, we run a batch process that automatically creates accounts for new students, and then you can start applying for on-campus jobs. You can pursue an on-campus job from day one. That's allowed. We don't allow day one CPT, but day one on-campus jobs is okay. Does it matter going to your visa with old I-20 without your scholarship? Well, if you've got the scholarship and you have a visa interview coming up, please reach out to ISSO. It's better to have the most updated version. If for some reason you don't have it, for whatever reason it is, you can just bring the documentation, your I-20 as well as your scholarship letter, and maybe the proof that you have requested for a new I-20, and just explain it to the visa officer. You will only get the scholarship after you're admitted. So yes, if you have got the admit and you've still not applied for a scholarship, go ahead and do that. The deadline is May 1st. Your scholarship app should be in, and your official score should have been received by UT Dallas by May 1st. Do you mean Civis Docs to University of UTD or University of Dallas? Because those are two different places. If you have any questions about the transfer, the ISSO's website can help you with that. But if you're already thinking about a transfer before coming to UTD, I would recommend that you directly apply to another university that you want to go to. You can apply for the scholarship even without getting an admit. We will look at your file only after you have an admit. Brighton, you need to reach out to ISSO. And in fact, there is the checklist that I mentioned has all the links. If you scroll up, the checklist that you see has all the links of every possible resource, including how do you request an I-20 out there. But if you have questions about ISSO, it's ISSO prospective at utdallas.edu. I'll put that in the chat. Sergio, if you have experience, one should be enough. You can, so the course registration for fall has started. If you want to enroll in courses, you can do it now. And you will not need to pay the fee right now. The payment calendar tells you it's towards end of July, early August. I don't remember the date exactly, but the calendar has listed that date. That's when you need to pay the fee, not right away. Okay, I believe that were the questions. Have a good one, guys. The recording of this will be available on our YouTube channel. So if you have doubts and you want to go back to the recording, do that. We'll see you very soon on campus. We hope to see you on campus. All our great alums, they started from a webinar and you're at the right place to get this started. Have a good one, everybody, and have a great rest of your week and a great weekend. Bye-bye.